Welcome, everybody, to our council meeting, December 13, 2022. And I'll call the meeting to order. Folks, you see before you the agenda, and I note there's nothing outside the kit. And also noting we'll change the agenda a little bit. We'll do the round table, and then Deputy Mayor Kiley will present the City of Mount Pearl's 2023 budget. So call for a motion first to begin the meeting by calling for a motion for the agenda, moved by Councillor Fry and seconded by Councillor Lane. All in favor? And those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so much. We'll begin with the lands acknowledgement. We begin today's public council meeting by respectfully acknowledging the province of Newfoundland and Labrador as the ancestral homelands of many diverse populations of Indigenous peoples, including the Beothuk, who have contributed to 9,000 years of history on the island of Newfoundland. Today, this province is home to diverse populations of Indigenous and other people. We acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit. We honor this beautiful land together as we strive for collective healing and true reconciliation. Council, the first order of business is the public council meeting minutes from November 29th. Please review and report any errors or omissions before we adopt. Hearing none, I'll call for a motion moved by Councillor Locke and seconded by the Deputy Mayor. All in favor? Those opposed? And that motion's carried as well. Thank you. Go ahead, Council, if you have any business arising. Please quote the item number from the action report or the minutes. Okay, so the first order of business is definitely not corporate services. Just bear with me as I load everything up here. We're going to start with the Recreation and Community Safety Report, and we're going to begin with Councillor Lane, please.
Thank you very much. The first thing on our agenda tonight is the Glacier Arena final skating for 2022. So for the information of the public, the final skating dates have been posted at the Glacier and on the city's website as follows. Sunday, December 18th, there's a family skate. Monday, December 19th, there's a general evening skate. And Wednesday, December 21st, there's an adult and senior noon skate and a parent and tot skate as well. The second item on our agenda is the Christmas hours for our recreational facilities. So those will be posted to our city's website shortly to follow. And for the third item, we have our family's first night celebration, which is happening December 31st, 2022 at the Summit Center in Glacier Arena. So for the information of the public, on December 31st, from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., the Summit Center is offering a free public swim and all families are invited. The annual First Night Skate celebrations will take place at the Glacier Arena from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And families are invited free of charge to this non-alcohol family event. So that's two great family events happening on the 31st, and I hope to see many residents attend and enjoy. And I'm going to pass it over to my colleague there, Councillor Angel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. And number 4 is we're getting close to that time of year. It's New Year's Eve is upcoming. And a reminder to all our residents that our city noise regulations stipulate that fireworks can only be discharged between dusk and New Year's Eve, December 31st till 2:30 a.m. and January the 1st. And this is very important. I mean, fireworks are great when people know they're going to be set off and you can plan accordingly. But when we do our fireworks, and it's not within this time frame, we got to take care of, people with pets, children with autism, that type of thing, and PTSD, adults with PTSD. So please don't use the fireworks throughout this time. And number 5 for us is the Summit Swimming Pool registration for January 2023 lessons. Start again for our residents on Tuesday, January 3rd at 5 o'clock. And after that, the open registration is on Thursday, January the 5th at 2023 at 5 p.m. We're moving fast. And number 6, the upcoming registrations for the for our fitness programs and our seniors independence group. This information on registration dates start January 4th and January 6th for the winter programs for fitness classes and the seniors independence group. And this is all posted on our city's website. Need to know any more information, just pop there and you'll see all that information. And thank you very much, Your Worship.
Thank you very much. We're going to move now to planning, engineering and development. Councillor Rice, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. So number one on our list tonight, our agenda is our Park Avenue, Dunn Bridge, Commonwealth Avenue. This one's a request for approval to proceed with a contractor change order number 3. So the background on this one, the Planning, Engineering and Development Committee has advised that change order number 3 is required for Park Avenue, Dunn's Bridge, Commonwealth Avenue. And the number on this project is CPR 21005-03. And this change order is required to cover items for the Dunn's Bridge and the Commonwealth Avenue bridge portion of the scope of work, including supply and placement of track coat for Commonwealth Avenue Bridge, petroleum products adjustment for Commonwealth Avenue Bridge, additional traffic control services for bridge closure for Dunn's Bridge, and petroleum products adjustment for Dunn's Bridge. The total cost for change order is $7,866.67, HST included. Please note there is a unused project cash allowance to cover this change order. So Planning, Engineering and Development Committee recommends that change order number 3 payable to Modern Paving for the amount of $7,866.67, HST included, to accommodate those items for Dunn's Bridge and Commonwealth Avenue Bridge portion of the scope to be approved. Please note that this amount will be deducted from the unused cash allowance included in the project budget. And I so move.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Rice and seconded by Councillor Fry. Comments, questions, folks? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And contrary-minded?
Thank you, Worship.
Carried.
Number 2, we have petroleum product adjustments. I guess change of the times, looking at price increases. Request for approval, a revision to change order number 1. And also I'll give you a background on this one. A review was completed for petroleum products adjustment using the updated petroleum product adjustment worksheet as published by Municipal Infrastructure Division, MI. This document has been updated 3 times. However, the contractor has been using the original worksheet to calculate their adjustments. After review of the worksheet and discussion with MI regarding the most recent form, engineering services revised the worksheet for the city's current projects as summarized below in the spreadsheet. You can see it in your kit right there. And note that the change order number 1 for 2021 asphalt renewal, Smallwood Drive, for the petroleum product adjustments was originally approved for $11,511.95. This change order will require revision and approval in the amount of $22,002.46. So a recommendation from Planning, Engineering and Development Committee recommends that the invoice adjustment be completed and the change order number 1 for 2021 asphalt renewal for Smallwood Drive be approved in the amount of $22,002.46. And I so move.
Again, moved by Councillor Rice and seconded by Councillor Fry. Just to clarify, the 22,000 is the revised amount, not the increase, right? The increase is the 10,491, I believe. Yep. Any further comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? And carried. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Your Worship. Now I will pass it over to my colleague, Councillor Fry.
Okay.
Thank you, Councillor Rice. The next on our agenda is regarding our ISIP funding. And council may remember at a previous meeting, we had to cancel some of our ISIP applications and reapply because of the cost increase, we were running a deficit. And due to the ISIP funding cancellations and reapplication process, as outlined in Council Motion 22-11-594, the ISIP project, which was for full replacement of Barber Drive, was canceled to fund other ISIP project deficits. So this ISIP reallocation process left an unallocated amount in the canceled Barber funding of $514,253.13. In the council meeting minute, council's request was to have this unallocated funding transferred to the project for the Jackman Drive full replacement funding. In subsequent emails and discussions with Kim Kiley, who's the Director of Municipal Infrastructure, The only way the city can transfer the remaining unused funding of $514,253.13 remaining in the Barbara Drive account and add it to the Jackman Drive project is to cancel the existing Jackman Drive funding agreement and reapply for the Jackman Drive funding with the updated increased funding amount. A deadline for this reapplication was outlined as Friday, February the 9th. So therefore, our recommendation, the Planning, Engineering and Development Committee recommends the following. To cancel the ISIP project funding 17-GI-22-00031, full replacement of water, sanitary and storm sewer, asphalt, curb, and sidewalk for the Jackman Drive area. The total project funding canceled will be $4.5 million, HST included. The ISIP reapplication. So therefore, the full replacement of water, sanitary and storm sewer, asphalt, curb, and sidewalk for the Jackman Drive area. The total project funding being applied for will now be $5,014,254, HST included. An email will be sent to Municipal Infrastructure Department with Transportation and Infrastructure to meet the December the 9th deadline requirement until a formal council meeting can be processed, which is what we're doing here today. And I so move.
It is, thank you. Moved by Councillor Fry and thank you. Seconded by Councillor Rice. Any questions, council? Any comments? I think this is just another example of some of the inflationary pressures we're seeing with anything to do with resources, manufacturing and labor these days. So very appropriate. And of course, we want to tag along and get the money from the federal and provincial governments too, obviously. And that's why the motion is here tonight. I'll call the question. All in favor? And anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Next, our agenda is the building and occupancy permit listing for the period of November 28th to the December the 10th, 2022. So our committee recommends that the building permits issued for this period showing a total construction value of $4,403,162 be approved. And further, that the occupancy permit list be accepted as presented. And these are outlined here in your kit. So we have a residential building construction permit for a wood stove, an accessory building, a commercial for exterior renovations and a sign. And then the occupancy permit for Greenfoot Holdings for an office and Johnny Mae's food trailer. And I so move.
It is moved again by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Rice for those permits. And I'll call the question. All in favor? And those opposed? And again, thank you. Motion carried.
Now we have our development permit listing for November the 28th to December the 10th. The Planning, Engineering and Development Committee provides the following development permits for the information of council. And as you can see here, there are 4 listed in the kit. And I so move.
Again, moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Rice for those development permits. Any questions? I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And contrary-minded and carried.
And finally, for our committee is just for information purposes. The installation of a new perimeter-based parking lot lighting is ongoing at the Summit Center, Reed Center, Library, and Glacier. And that is anticipated to be completed by next week. And the 2022 capital works projects are all now complete, except for the pedestrian underpass, which is up on Opal Center Road, and that is scheduled to be completed in early January. And that's it for our report this evening, Your Worship.
Well done. Thank you very, very much. We'll turn to corporate services. Councillor Locke is going to take the lead and we'll hold the budget to the end of the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll take the first 4 items and then turn over to Deputy Mayor Kiley. The first for our committee tonight, Mayor, is the invoices for approval. We have 3 here tonight, and the total is $45,012.05. And you can see here, the first one is Conception Bay Auto, and that's for some from tires, for tires for equipment. Number 2, there you can see Evanbridge, 3 years public communication standard international for $8,239. And this is for our Citizens Alert platform. So that's we've been using Everbridge, and this is for a continuation of services with them. We did go out, and got 3 bids, and they were the lowest bidder. So this is a continuation. And number 3, there is with Ignite 1-year care analytics and security renewal And Mayor, this is the Wi-Fi equipment that we need for our surveillance cameras around the city. So again, we have 3 there, and I move that the amount be accepted as presented.
It is moved by Councillor Locke and seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Any questions, comments? 3 items. Going once. I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed, and that is carried as well. Thank you.
The second item, Mayor, for our committee is the payment register. The following payment register is for November the 24th to December 7th of 2022. And the total is $1,284,236.20. And you can see them outlined there. And if anyone has any questions, we'll answer those.
Back to you.
Okay, number 3 for us is a request for tax consideration. This is standard to our policy. We're recommending approval to exempt 2022 business taxes in accordance with the policy for charitable and nonprofit organizations for the following. And this is the Newfoundland Labrador Safety Council. They're located on 3 Moffat Road. And in this case, it's 100% of the business tax. The annual amount is $8,805.18, and I so move.
Again, moved by Councillor Locke, seconded as well by the Deputy Mayor. Any questions? Pretty standard practice according to policy. I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And contrary-minded? Thank you. Carried.
And the 4th and last one that I will take before handing it over to Deputy Mayor. This involves the notice of motion, Your Worship, that I brought in at last public council. And it's for council remuneration and reimbursement regulations amendment. Corporate Services and Public Works Committee recommends adoption of the proposed amended council remuneration and reimbursement regulations, which, if adopted, will ensure that the City of Mount Pearl supports accessibility, diversity, and the inclusion and dignity of all people. The amendment will also remove the need to obtain the discretionary approval of council prior to taking maternity or parental leave. And by doing this, we avoid, the present gap that would exist to full inclusivity, diversity, and inclusion. So again, this is the notice of motion that I brought in at last public council meeting. The details are contained within the kit there, and I move that we adopt this recommendation.
It is moved by Councillor Locke, and I know seconded by the Deputy Mayor. A very progressive move, Deputy Mayor.
Absolutely, Your Worship. And I am exceptionally proud, along with my colleagues here, to be introducing this today. And the value of this is absolutely at its core is inclusion and diversity. We want to be a council and a city that those residents that are living here, they can see themselves, that everybody around this table is representative and inclusive of the brilliant community we have. And we certainly have seen strides towards that. We certainly, in some councils over the years, have reached very close to gender parity. A part of that is not only a gender-based issue, but it is a inclusive issue for anyone raising a family in Mount Pearl. And I can't think of a more family-oriented community and city than the one we are living in here today. But it's also good to recognize where we can see the implications. I'm just looking around at the incredible amount of milestones and people who have served on council. We are literally surrounded in the walls of this chamber of different compartments of council. I truly believe legislation like this or policy development like this will ensure that we have more diversity, including women, including parents, including young people, including those that struggle with childcare, including those that struggle with the barriers that happen to raising a family. We're going to see more and more of ourselves and those individuals around this table because of what we're doing here today. I'm incredibly proud to be doing this. I'm incredibly proud that we are investing in the future of our leaders and incredible leaders that are also parents sitting at this table even today.
I think our microphones are competing. Further commentary, anybody? Councillor Lane, please.
I think that my colleague just did it so well. I think this is truly a step in the right direction. And I only just had a baby on Thursday. So for me, it's great that this is brought forward and it takes a barrier away from me personally as well. And I know there's probably lots of other people who are in my position who would love to be able to join something such as city council. And the fact that that barrier is there, which is now removed, I just think that it is truly a step in the right direction. And it's great to see that we're preparing for the future. So I'm very proud of this decision.
Thank you. Councillor Fry, please.
Yes, as a little side note, but I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that Councillor Lane just made history in the city of Mount Pearl, because she's the first sitting councillor to have a baby. So congratulations, Councillor Lane.
Any further thoughts, council? We have to adopt this otherwise, if the conversation then is over. Okay, I'll call the question to adopt the new regulations and policy. All in favor?
Aye.
And those opposed? And I knew that motion would be carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll turn it over to Deputy Mayor Colley now.
Thank you, Your Worship. and Thank you, Councillor Locke. I'm going to just finish off some of the community items, our corporate or our committee items before I move right into presenting the budget for today. Our next item on the agenda is the 2013 Public Council meeting calendar. So for the information of the public, the previously approved 2023 Public Council meeting calendar incorrectly noted the observance days for St. Patrick's Day and Remembrance Day. So these holidays will be observed on Monday, March 20th and Monday, March 13th, respectively. The 2023 public meeting calendar will be updated accordingly prior to being placed on the city website. And the dates for council meetings are not affected by these corrections, but we wanted to make that a note today. And of course, I would like to share the latest and greatest with our public works status report. The committee reviewed the following status report as distributed prior to the meeting.
My apologies. I was just wondering why Monday, November 13th is being observed instead of November the 11th itself.
And it is only a clarification because it doesn't affect the meeting schedule. I think they're just trying to correct the count the calendar. But that's a good question because Remembrance Day would be the 11th.
Your worship, it's the November the 11th will fall on Saturday. So the holiday will be observed on Monday for anyone who's, who's
Fair
having a
enough.
holiday. Yeah.
Thank you.
Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So all three outdoor ice rinks at Gushu, Marley Drive Tennis Court, and Montclair Avenue are prepared and ready for use. And we're just waiting for weather conditions, aka the white stuff, or mostly cold. Yeah. Winter equipment maintenance and preparation work is, of course, ongoing. Winter seasonal staff started on December 5th. And of course, leak detection is ongoing. And as you see in our kits, you're able to see, it looks like from all intents and purposes, where we are in our levels, it aligns. And that is all what we have right now for our statics work, our public work update. I'm just going to move directly here to
Do the round table first. Yep. Here, don't they? All right, let's do the roundtable and then we'll finish the meeting with the 2023 City Mount Pearl budget. Councillor Locke, you're first today.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have just a few items here. First, I want to extend public congratulations to Councillor Lane on the arrival of young Max on Thursday. So we were so excited when we got the news. So congratulations, and I know it's going to be a great Christmas this year for you guys. Also, Mayor, I want to acknowledge young Zach Dean, a Mount Pearl hockey player, named to the Canada World Juniors roster, 18-year-old. So during the Christmas season, Boxing Day, I think it starts. I'm sure many Newfoundlanders and Mount Pearlians will be glued to the set young Zach is the only Newfoundlander, I think, on the roster this year. So congratulations to Zach, and I wish him well. I just want to mention our Santa Claus parade that the Lions put off. It was a fantastic parade. The weather, you couldn't have planned for a better day. It was so well attended, so many people along the route. And of course, our float, again, kudos to our staff for constructing and putting the float into the parade for us. So it was a wonderful event. And the All Is Bright, the lighting at St. David's Park, man, the feedback I have received on that has been overwhelming. Another great job by our staff. It's so well lit and so well utilized. So again, I just wanted to extend thanks to our staff for organizing that. And that's it for me, Your Worship. I just want to take the opportunity to wish everyone, a Merry Christmas. My colleagues around the council table, of course, all of our senior management that we work week in and week out with, and certainly all of our employees with the City of Mount Pearl that do such great work to deliver the top quality services for the City of Mount Pearl, and also for our residents at home as well. My wish for them is a Merry Christmas and a 2023 that's filled with health, love, and happiness. And that's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Kiley, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. And similar sentiments to my colleague, Councillor Lane. It's wonderful to see you back. And I think as your dad had mentioned this week, that it was his biggest Christmas gift come early. So I think it's wonderful that you get an opportunity to spend some Christmas with your whole family and Newmax. So just wanted to say all my love and care to you and your family today and in this great season. Wanted to just bring attention to some incredible organizations that are doing so much over Christmas. I have been so overwhelmed in the best of way of how many individuals are just giving and serving throughout this season. I mentioned last time a little bit about how holidays can be difficult and the mental strain that it can take. And a lot of this has to do with environmental stressors like food security, like housing, like poverty. I just wanted to highlight some of the organizations over the past month that I have seen in action and are continuing. And again, it's not too late if you're thinking about donating or engaging in some way. Absolutely reach out. There's tremendous organizations. One of those of which we just had a draw in our front lobby with the Mount Pearl Lions Club, who is again raising funds through ticket draws throughout the entire holiday season, and ensuring that those monies will go directly back to some incredible social programs. There's also kettles throughout the entire city for the Salvation Army. And what you have to understand about the kettle, which is really important, is that directly goes back to organizations locally. So when you see that kettle, also think about food security, also think about shelters, also think about social programming that go directly to that. And certainly whether it's volunteering for them or taking a little bit of change you do have while you're doing your groceries, it's a great time to think about that. Also to our St. Vincent de Paul, there was collections throughout the parade. There is going out throughout. If you're looking to donate right now, food is still a huge issue and something that a lot of programs and services and people could use. So just a thanks. And again, to everyone who is traveling and observing and celebrating this holiday season, I wish you the very best. I wish you Merry Christmas and just the peace and joy of the holiday season and the self-care that you can bring to yourself and others, as well as a prosperous and hopeful new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Angel, please.
I'll be nice and quick, Your Worship. First off, I can't pass without commenting on your microphones on, Mayor. The Mayor's microphone's on. I can hear the background. Thank you. I want to comment on Councillor Lane. Having a baby in office is a big thing. It is, like Councillor Fry said, it's the first to care for the City of Mount Pearl. Maybe the first, and not too many municipalities have done that. Congratulations. And the big thing of that is Deputy Mayor said, welcome back. You haven't missed a meeting. You showed up last Tuesday for public, you had Max, and tomorrow morning we have a committee meeting and you're going to attend, and I think Max is going to attend with us. So it's fabulous that you can do that, and you're a real role model for young women who want to go into council. Be able to do what you're doing, full-time career, going to university, well done. So congratulations, Chelsea. Yeah. And the second thing for me is nice and quick. On December the 18th, there's residents, not with the city of Mount Pearl, but there's some residents here in the city of Mount Pearl have decided to do some caroling, and he invited all the residents who really wants to show up. It's been led by Alexander Taylor, and most of us know Alexander, but he's spearheading this. And I think there's a big crowd of people showing up for caroling on December the 18th over to St. David's Field. And it's nothing special, just drop by. I think Alexander's looking for some donations for food banks. As Deputy Mayor said, we're always looking for food. So drop by and have a nice night of caroling in the field. And also, as all my colleagues would say, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we'll see you all January 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Over to you, Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Worship. So I guess it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention Chelsea and Keith and Serena on the brand new arrival of their little son and brother for Serena Max. So congratulations, Chelsea, on behalf of me and my family. I'm really happy for you guys, and so nice to see young families in Mount Pearl and staying in Mount Pearl. It's good to see. I also I got a few items here actually, but most of my items was covered by the rest of my colleagues, but that's nothing. So I just want to say, also, Councillor Locke mentioned about lighting up at St. David's Field. I got to say, in the nighttime when I come down there, it's absolutely beautiful. Kudos to the group staff members and management team that put that off and did all the organizing. And every year they seem to add to the lighting up there. And I've had a lot of feedback and comments from friends of mine that live in Mount Pearl, and even friends of ours that don't live in Mount Pearl have been up there walking through, and they absolutely love it. I want to say a big congratulations to the Mount Pearl Seniors Independence Group on their annual Christmas party on December 9th. Most of us attended. It was a great event. Great to see so many seniors, almost 500 seniors involved in that group right now in the city of Mount Pearl. And they do a phenomenal job, Georgina and I think Shirley Boone, and they really bring the whole community together up there Wednesday afternoons. But they're so organized and they're so involved in it, and it's really good to see. Also, I want to say we had the honor of attending the staff Christmas party on the 8th of December. It was I think it was well organized and well planned. And I think the staff and council and management team that attended that really had a great time. So I want to say it's so nice to get everybody back together into one building. And I'd like to say a congratulations, actually, and there's not too many people know this, but the Men's Recreational Hockey League that are here in Mount Pearl, almost 50 years now, getting close to 50 years. They, so their milestone was coming up. So I don't know how many people know this, but for 30 plus years, they've been doing fundraising. There's 112, I guess, adult men in that league. And every single year they do a Toonies for Turkeys, or they sponsor families. They've been at it over 30 plus years. And I know at one point they raised for a couple of families, and some staff members from the city were in need of some funding, and they raised over $8,000 for that family. And they've done it like several times. So I want to say, kudos and a thank you to everybody that opens up their pocketbook and gives, freely to all the residents that need help, because, we could be in that situation ourselves someday. So it's really nice to see everybody come together. I think it really, says a lot to our residents and our family and our community of the city of Mount Pearl, because we always seem to come together in time of need for people. And we always, we go above and beyond, and, and this is no different. So I want to say also a big congratulations to the Salvation Army Kettle Drive. I think most of council and people have, they have so many volunteers and they have so many places, but it's outstanding what they do. And they just want to make a comment that they help everybody. It's not only just their own, the church and the church group and stuff like that. They give so much money to the Newfoundland Labrador and Fiona Relief on the West Coast, and several hurricanes over the years. I mean, they always step up. They always do great work, and I got no problem volunteering my time to help out organizations like that. And also, finally, I got here a very Merry Christmas to all staff, management. It's been a rough couple of years. COVID is still raising its ugly head. And all the rest of council, I want to say it's been my honor to serve with you as council members for the last year. I'm brand new to council. We got 3 brand new council members, but it's been a great honor to serve and get to know you personally. And I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas to you and your families, and a healthy and prosperous new year. That's it, your worship, for me.
Thank you, Councillor Rice. Thank you very much. Councillor Lane is next.
Thank you, your worship. So I don't have very much left to add, but on December 4th, I did attend AMP's Art Fusion show. And it was really an interesting event. We have so many talented artists here in the city, and it was well attended. There was even somebody who was like a fire eater. So like that blew my mind. I couldn't believe that. So that was a really interesting and fun event. And coming up this weekend, this Sunday, actually, we have another great event, which is going to be our breakfast with Santa. So I know that Serena is very excited to go to the breakfast, and she won't be getting a picture of Santa because she's terrified of him, but from a distance, and I'm sure she'll enjoy when she gets her presents on Christmas morning. But I think that that's going to be a great time. And I think that we're all really looking forward to that. And that's it for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor. I have many a Christmas picture with Santa at home where I'm sitting on the floor with one of the kids. Over to you, Councillor Fry.
I'd like to see one of those, your worship. Now, I realize that I'm standing between us and the budget, so I'm going to make it very quick. Further to what the deputy mayor was referring to earlier in our community groups, I also wanted to acknowledge that, because our community comes together, as Councillor Rice said, our community is so strong and our community spirit is so strong. And to see the amount of giving it's really beautiful to see, you know, from tapping on the kettle, the Connects food drive, the turkey drive, the Lions Club doing, you know, it's incredible to see so many groups coming together to make our community as special as it is. And speaking of the Connects, on Saturday past, the Connects did their annual turkey drive, and that is to collect turkeys. At Sobeys, one of the Connects dressed up as a turkey, and she got a lot of attention as people were walking in. And not only did we collect turkeys, some people, I mean, turkeys are not cheap. So some people could only give a couple of dollars, $5, $10, whatever they could afford to give. And do you know, there were 34 turkeys donated, and almost $1,300 donated. So collectively, we expect that we will be able to donate about 91 turkeys to the food banks to assist with their hampers this Christmas. And that's wonderful to see. Further to all of the fundraisers and food donations and that type of thing, I just want to remind people, don't forget about pets, because this time of year, it's money is tight. You know, people go payday to payday. They do what they can to provide Christmas, and it's always extra. You know, if they got an extra $5, $10, $20, they'll put it in a Salvation Army kettle or donate it to a food drive. Heavenly Creatures have a pet food drive, and if you have a little bit extra, don't forget them as well, because they need to eat as well. So I just wanted to mention that. And also, yesterday, some of us had the opportunity of going to one of the local businesses here in Mount Pearl, Jack, on 1 Commonwealth Avenue. And it was really nice to go. They had a meet and greet for us. It was nice to see what they do. So I just want to welcome them to Mount Pearl. And I think everything else I've had here has already been discussed. So I just want to say Merry Christmas to all the residents and volunteers, because I know some of our volunteers don't necessarily live in Mount Pearl, but they do contribute to our community. So Merry Christmas to our residents, our volunteers, our staff, everyone present, and of course, my council colleagues. And I hope everybody has a wonderful new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll reserve my comments and restrict it to greetings at the end. But now I'd like to introduce Deputy Mayor Kiley and the 2023 budget. All yours.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your Worship, fellow councillors, special guests. Tonight, as co-chair of the Corporate Services and Public Works Committee, I am pleased to deliver the 2023 budget for the city of Mount Pearl. For council, the budget process is a balance of reality and idealism. It is a time when, as a council, along with senior staff, we plan for the future of this great city while protecting the foundation it is built on. It is also an opportunity to reflect on the challenges we have to overcome and accomplishments we have achieved from this past year. Last year's budget was centered on community and striking the right balance of investing for now and for what is next. In reflection of 2022, it was a year that continued to test us and our resilience. It was undeniable that COVID-19 remained prevalent throughout our community as we entered the new year with continued reduced capacities at city facilities following the guidance of public health. While we remain entirely committed to safe operating procedures, we must also recognize that reduced programming and lower capacities have a direct impact on city revenue. This year also included the culmination of collective bargaining, which concluded following an 11-week labor disruption, with a new collective agreement achieved in September. Following the labor disruption, the city expediently resumed full operations within days, returning the full suite of services our residents and businesses rely on, after having preserved safe delivery of core operating services during the months prior. While there is no doubt that 2022 presented challenges, the city of Mount Pearl remains unwavering and enduring in its commitment to build a path forward as a smart city of engaged citizens, leading the way in sustainable growth. Tonight, as we share our vision and plans, our record of progress made to date provides reassuring evidence that our council and public servants always put the best interests, health, and safety of our community and our staff first. Let's take a moment to look back on what has been achieved this year. Maintaining our focus on growth, this year we actioned some of the recommendations made within our Find Your Center, a 20 to 20 year plan, visionary revitalization plan for our city center throughout 2022, with 2 significant projects. This includes the fully realized design has been completed to construct a pilot mobile kiosk that will be positioned strategically within the city's flagship trail network. The kiosks are conceptually designed with flexibility and mixed use in mind to allow for a variety of vendors to connect with our new audiences. The kiosks will inspire curiosity and interest, creating new features that will enhance outdoor recreation experience that is primed for repeat visits. Design concepts have also been solidified for our new city center gateway signage. These new pieces will help to define the special area in our city and embrace their natural surroundings. We continue to assess our infrastructure and effectively manage our assets. In 2022, we completed important road upgrades to Commonwealth Avenue Bridge, the Park Avenue Duns Road Bridge, Smallwood Drive resurfacing, and a project to improve the Old Placentia Road underpass is underway and will be completed in the new year. We also maintained our investments in fleet, purchasing new loaders, our new backhoe, 2 new trackless sideway snow clearing machines, and 2 big blowers. These investments in our fleet continues to yield savings and has reduced our annual maintenance budget by $300,000 since its inception. The successful implementation of LED lighting at the Glacier in support of this city's focus on taking climate change action, which remains firm. This more than $200,000 investment has multiple proven benefits, including a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and electricity cost savings of $65,000 per year. The city launched its Upgrade to Mount Pearl Foreign Direct Investment campaign, which has only been successful internationally. It also delivered positive secondary marketing results on a regional and local level. In fact, the initiative was well executed that it caught the attention of the Economic Developers Association of Canada and the International Economic Development Council, IEDC, and the IEDC Awards, picking up gold for special purpose website in September. The city leveraged its investment in this powerful new resource by putting it front and center while attending the Offshore Technology Conference in Texas last May. As the only Newfoundland and Labrador municipality in attendance, working to attract foreign investment. The pandemic meant that many of us were apart for an extended period of time, and as people, we are social beings. We like to be together, and I know many of our residents longed for the resumption of City Days in the format we've all come to know and love. In 2022, it was joyous to see City Days nearer to its original form. With the return of the Mega Birthday Bash concert in St. Dave's Park, our beloved costume breakfast, and the addition of a pet parade event. The timing of this year's days also allowed for the incorporation of our well-attended Oktoberfest event, which raised about $5,000 for the Canadian Red Cross Hurricane Fiona Relief Fund, thanks to our generous residents. The sense of community in Mount Pearl is strong, and it has been the cornerstone of our municipality since the very beginning. We are known for our welcoming nature in Newfoundland and Labrador, but especially here in Mount Pearl. And our values and ideals regarding inclusion and diversity are with great esteem. We are proud of the work we have done this year on diversity and inclusion, including the completion of a smart, accessible playground at St. David's, which we will officially open to the public this spring, as a place where children of all abilities can come and play, learn in a welcoming and safe space. The continuation of investment in inclusion through our Key to Access program, which is pedestrian mobility wireless technology that allows users to request crossing without having to find or reach a button on the pole. It is targeted to mobility impaired and visually impaired pedestrians. This technology is now available in 5 city intersections with continued investments in 2023. The establishment of an internal accessibility, diversity, and inclusion working group has also been at the forefront. This new collective will broaden next year to welcome community representatives, and it will regularly consult as policies are developed and reviewed, as well as any relevant initiatives and projects the city has begun. Lastly, just earlier tonight, we were incredibly proud to bring forward a motion that provides for our automatic approval of extended maternity or parental leave upon notice of elected officials in Mount Pearl. And we are amongst the first municipalities in the province to officially introduce this policy in an effort to make council more diverse and to encourage more members of the community to run for public office, all with the goal to ensure council is reflective of and responsive to the community it serves. I am confident my council colleagues would agree what a great, well job done. But there's also more ways we can do things. There's also always more that we can do, things that we can continue to improve. So let us now look towards what will be achieved in 2023. At its core, Budget 2023 is all about 2 things: applying an innovative approach to advancing our city's record for premier services, and 2, positioning ourselves for growth. Now, more than ever, it is critical that we turn our attention to growth and how we position ourselves to attract new residents and businesses to our community. We must determine how to diversify our residential housing landscape to attract new residents and provide opportunities for commercial development that is integrated with long-term city plans, such as Faunia Center. This budget has thoughtfully balanced needs and desires with informed and measured decisions. To develop budget 2023, consultations with the public took place in a variety of ways, traditional and digital. Our council members were out during city days to discuss budget hopes and expectations with in-person feedback. Our online consultation platform at heymountpearl.ca was open to receive feedback 24/7 for over 6 weeks. Much of what is heard has been reflected in budget 2023, while it must also respond to the reality of our current economic climate. In the annual assessment of the Municipal Assessment Agency, residential property values increased by 3.4% on average. Commercial property values overall remained flat. While last year mill rate remained steady as property values decreased, the city was able to weather the burden. This cannot be the case for 2023 due to several external factors, including inflation, which was an unavoidable actuality that we're collectively facing. The cost of major infrastructure projects continue to rise well beyond projections as tenders for these important projects close and pricing is finalized. This year, we have seen 35% increase in multi-million-dollar infrastructure projects that are critical to our asset management plan. We see no sign of this changing heading into 2023. And it is not sustainable to weather a burden such as this, especially when long-term planning is prioritized. In 2023, we must not only plan for the future, we must invest in it. Now it is not the time to stand still. This city has to increase revenue in order to facilitate wise asset management and deliver future-focused infrastructure in upgrades. With this in mind, the theme of this year's budget is investing in tomorrow, today. And this investment includes investing in growth. In 2023, the city will release a series of new strategic documents that will include a new strategic plan covering 2023 through to 2027, a new long-term economic development strategy and action plan, and a new 10-year municipal plan. These plans already are underway and will guide responsible and sustainable growth and development in our city. The city will also move towards its goal of climate conscious mixed use development for the Kenmount Hill that features accessibility, urban amenities, and leveraging the natural features and values of that area. This year's budget sees considerable investment in the Farrell Drive upgrade project funded through Invest Canada Infrastructure Programs, ICIP. This $6.9 million project is critical to the long-term sustainability of development on Kenmount Hill. We're investing in service delivery. The city of Mount Pearl will remain its focus on service delivery in 2023, with a continued emphasis on snow clearing, which is an essential service. This budget presents a framework to maintain the high level of service that we expect, ensuring its sustainability in the short term and long term. As a city, we conduct business continuity training to ensure we have contingency plans in the place for essential services such as snow clearing. And we must always prepare for things such as extreme weather conditions or staffing challenges due to COVID-19 and changes in the response to requests for overtime. Budget 2023 includes the addition of a weekend snow clearing shift, and we will reduce the city's reliance on overtime as a mechanism to deliver essential services. It is also includes an allocation of $531,000 for up to 1,600 hours of contracted snow clearing services, not to replace, but to complement our own internal efforts. In addition to enhanced winter season trail accessibility for those traveling on foot or residents simply seeking outdoor recreation, the city has invested in additional trail grooming equipment. And we're investing in our community. As a city, we must continue to invest in the things that Mount Pearl is known for: recreation, trails, open space, playgrounds, facilities, and community groups, who all make up what we call home. Budget 2023 renews our commitment to community. This year, we will invest $445,000 in upgrades to the baseball field at Team Gushu Sportsplex in preparation for the Canada Games in 2025. This includes field upgrades, team dugouts improvements, pitcher's bullpen, and batting cage updates, and more. We will continue our investment in Pelt Playgrounds with $35,000 allocated for new Pelt Playground equipment, including a continued investment in accessible equipment. Our Summit Center Fitness Gym will see $75,000 spent in important equipment upgrades, including upright bikes, arc trainers, steppers, and a SciFit bike, which is an accessible piece of equipment where the seats removed are easily accessible for wheelchair access. Mount Pearl is home to 66 kilometers of trail, and we will continue to invest in natural asset with 200,000 allocated in the budget for trail enhancements, including the possibility of an eco-friendly approach to lighting the trail sections, making them the destination of choice to outdoor recreation in the evenings. And the new consideration is also supportive of the city's emphasized focus on community safety, which we'll hear more about in a little while. Next year, we will give our community more opportunities to congregate with the continuation of cornerstone events like City Days and Oktoberfest, various community breakfasts, outdoor film screenings, and seasonal get-togethers like All is Bright, which took place earlier this month. We will invest $185,000 in these events to engage our community and celebrate what it means to be in Mount Pearl and to live in Mount Pearl. The city will continue to financially support its various community groups through $277,000 in grants, and this includes $10,000, an increase in $10,000 to both the Seniors Independence Group and the Frosty Festival, which many are eagerly awaiting the return of post-pandemic. All is as well as a commitment to the arts and heritage through an additional $25,000 awarded to Emeraldy House Communications Museum for a total operating grant of $115,000. We are also investing in safety. Thanks to our municipal enforcement officer complement and our renewed emphasis on community safety, our city is well protected. That elevated focus is evident in the recent realignment of our municipal departments, with recreation and community services becoming recreation and community safety. This is more than simply an aesthetic name change. Our municipal enforcement team has adapted to increase overall proactive presence and an increased capacity for outreach and community involvement. We will continue to grow that presence in 2023, with our municipal enforcement team expanding to meet council's focus on community safety. The city's municipal enforcement officers have already participated in safety sessions held in daycares, grade schools, and more, increasing awareness that everyone has a role to play when it comes to community safety. And we will continue that important outreach this coming year. We are also investing in our people. The city of Mount Pearl will continue to lead municipalities in the province, emphasizing on good governance and best practices. As a city, we believe that our people are our greatest asset. And in 2023, we will continue to invest in our workforce with $304,750 allocated to professional development, training, and employee engagement. We are also investing in infrastructure. The city of Mount Pearl owns $330 million in public infrastructure assets, which will be continued to protect through a total investment of $6.5 million in asset management in 2023's budget. So this includes $900,000 invested in an asset management contingency fund to ensure the city is able to sustain unexpected infrastructure expenditures as they arise. $4.6 million in city contributions to federal and provincial funded programs. The future planning for infrastructure programs such as Invest Canada Infrastructure Program and multi-year capital works allow for the city to leverage up to 70% in funding dollars, which means our $4.6 million investment equals almost $14 million in work. Our investment is truly making our taxpayer dollars work harder for us. $1 million in fleet renewal, which will ensure we can maintain service standards and public safety for important core services such as snow clearing and both roadways and sidewalks. Overall, this budget, our council and city demonstrates a shared responsibility to respond to concerns our community brings forward in a well-reasoned and practical way. Our focus on safety in our community is resolute. Our commitment to growth is amplified, and our city is taking the necessary steps to protect our infrastructure long-term. Your worship, I am confident that the budget I am presenting tonight is balanced and it demonstrates value for our community. The total 2023 budget is $56,122,056. We understand that this budget is constructed on behalf of the hardworking residents and businesses in our city. So we want to be clear on what that means for everyone. For our residents, your worship, tonight's budget brings forward a mill rate increase of 7.1 to 7.7 mills. Like so many others, this city is not impervious to the current economic realities, and our ability to develop and grow would be hindered were we not to increase what we hope our residents will understand. And while there is a mill rate increase, there will be no increases in water rates. For context, a residential property with an average assessed value of $255,000 would yield an annual property tax of $2,428 in 2022. And the impact of increase would translate to an additional cost of $219 for that property this year. We believe our residents deserve the best, and our teams want to continue to deliver that. And while this increase is necessary, we want to reassure residents that there are mechanisms and city programs in place to help those who need support for the most in the wake of this increase. The city offers 4 such supports and services, which include a 20% discount to property tax for seniors receiving the guaranteed income supplement. All seniors in our city are also exempt from any interest on property tax, and any household whose income is below a certain point can avail of our tax deferral program. This allows for a perpetual deferral of own property taxes as long as eligibility criteria continue to be met. The property owner would simply pay the flat $620 annual water, sewer, and waste disposal fee. Finally, the city's own pre-authorized payment program provides residents with an interest-free approach to progressively paying down their annual property tax amount as long as their account remains in good standing. Despite an increase in the mill rate, the city is pleased to confirm that the most rates and fees will remain the same in 2023. For our businesses in the budget 2023, we continue with commitments made to strengthen and support our cutting-edge business community. Similarly to the residential mill rate, the commercial property tax mill rate will increase to 12.4 up to from 11.5. This rate was last changed in 2019 with reduction. Business occupancy tax, which are variable depending on the type of business, will increase by 8% for all categories. For example, the general commercial rate will increase from 16.8 to 18.1 mils. We recognize the news of these increased costs is not ideal for those within the business community. The City of Mount Pearl remains committed to providing support and creating opportunity for businesses to grow, and is pleased to continue several programs to support these members of our community. The facade improvement program, first launched in 2019, will continue and creating an incentive for businesses in key areas around the city to enhance and upgrade their exterior building. We are pleased to renew this popular program in 2023 with $45,000 investment allocated to fulfilling facade improvement grants. We are proud to also continue with our investment in the newly added Energy Efficiency Grant Program announced last year in 2023. As we support climate conscious business owners making environmentally beneficial enhancements. We are pleased to continue supporting the Mount Pearl Paradise Chamber of Commerce with our annual $7,500 sponsorship contribution, and will continue covering the first year for new members that sign up in 2023. The Chamber continues to provide exceptional support for our business community. Furthermore, we are committed to working with our business community, provincial and federal partners, industry associations, business support organizations, and leaders to attract and retain investment and to create opportunities for new existing organizations through business development initiatives. And a full summary of fee increases is available online at mountpearl.ca. Your Worship, Budget 2023 makes a balanced approach to protecting today and planning for the long term. With significant investments in quality service, asset management, community safety, and sustainable development, we will meet the needs of current residents and businesses while implementing our new municipal and economic development plans to welcome new families and businesses to our community. This budget reinvigorates our sense of community and positions us properly to maintain a place where we choose to live and to work for the extended future. Now, Your Worship, as required by legislation, I am pleased to move the following motions. Be it resolved that the City of Mount Pearl, in accordance with the City of Mount Pearl Act, establish the attached tax rates for the 2023 taxation year, and I so move.
Seconded.
Be it
It is, we can vote on each motion or we can hold it because I think it'll, as you call it out and the Councillor Locke seconds it, we can do the vote at the end if that pleases council.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, sorry. Yeah.
Be it resolved that the City of Mount Pearl, in accordance with the City of Mount Pearl Act, approve the attached schedule of rates and fees to take effect January 1st, 2023, and I so move.
Seconded.
Be it resolved that the City of Mount Pearl, in accordance with the City of Mount Pearl Act, approve the annual rate of interest of 10% to be levied on all past due taxes and accounts receivable. Be it resolved that the City of Mount Pearl, in accordance with the City of Mount Pearl Act, approve the 2023 budget with operating revenues and expenditures totaling $56,122,056, and I so move.
Seconded.
And I note that the deputy mayor has brought in 4 motions and Councillor Locke has seconded them all. And I'll call now for any commentary, any questions related to the budget speech. Great delivery, Deputy Mayor. Not an easy budget, no doubt, but very realistic and delivered very well. Councillor Locke. As co-chair.
Thank you, Mayor. Great job, Deputy Mayor, on delivery of the budget. You're right, Mayor. It's probably the most challenging budget that I've had to work on in my time on council. As the Deputy Mayor indicated, last year, we kept our mill rate flat and the assessed property values reduced last year, which meant a revenue loss for the city. So we found ways to tighten our belts and cut where we could. But our focus has always been to maintain the premier level of services that we have here in the city of Mount Pearl. Unfortunately, given the times globally and the inflationary period that we're in, we couldn't continue with that thinking that we applied last year. So, you know, the 0.6 residential mill increase that was required here is again necessary. As always, Your Worship, as you will know as well, being on council for about 15 years, council always and only takes what we need to maintain the level of service that we have here in the city of Mount Pearl. Again, we started in September. I know Councillor Antle mentioned that it was a grueling process. We had multiple meetings and we went line by line trying to figure out where we could save, where we could improve, and also some new initiatives that we brought to the city, again, with the focus on community safety and investing into the future. Like we have limited land available now, and Northlands, as the mayor refers to it as, or Kenmount Hill, that's a new growth area for us. But it required investment in the current infrastructure on the Farrell Drive area to ensure that when investors come to develop that land, that we have the infrastructure in place for that. The investment that we have in our fleet, our asset management program that we brought in some years back has been crucial, as the Deputy Mayor pointed out. I mean, it's been saving us $300,000 annually in maintenance fees. So the continuation to that, and we require these vehicles, again, to provide the quality services that our residents have come to appreciate. So again, I understand, you know, all the work that went into this. I want to extend sincere thanks to our senior management team and the people in finance that helped us get to this location. It's balanced, it's prudent, it's responsible. This budget, again, we're planning for, as the Deputy Mayor said, planning for tomorrow, today, and I fully support this budget. And I again congratulate my council colleagues around the table for the hard work that we put into this to arrive at this particular budget document. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Anybody else from council? Councillor Antle, please.
Worship, yeah, thank you very much for well-delivered budget, Deputy Mayor. And I certainly do support this budget. There was a lot of time went into this. You know, from our committee, you know, community service and recreation, you know, a lot of things went into this. And I think it's a great budget to look. You know, we did a lot of work, you know, in preparation for the 2025 summer games. You know, the city's going to invest $445,000 into our new baseball field. And this is something the mayor has a speaker on. Anybody else? Yeah, and you know, that's foreign.
Can I have a motion to invest in new audio equipment, please?
Yeah, so the $445,000 into a new ball field will certainly help out for our summer games. We're continuing on to spend another $35,000 in our playgrounds. You know, our Summit Center, you know, Summit Center is the heart of Mount Pearl. Our gym is going to see another $75,000 in some equipment upgrades, including some upright bikes, trainer steppers, and a new sci-fi fit bike, which is an accessible piece of equipment. And it's a great piece of equipment. You're going to love it when you see it. It's fully accessible for anybody who's in a wheelchair. Something that we really, really want to see. Also, you know, Mount Pearl has over 60 kilometers of beautiful trailways here within the city. We have allocated over $200,000 for trail enhancements, such as the possibility of some eco-friendly lighting systems. And I think it's a great budget, and I certainly support this, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else go on to Councillor Lane? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. You know, this was definitely a more challenging budget for everyone involved. But like my colleagues were saying, with the increase in the price of everything, it's what we had to do. And with the budget that we do have, we have invested money in things that are very important to our community, such as our events. Coming out of COVID, people are so excited to finally be able to get together and make memories here in our city. And we've had some great events this year, and we're going to continue to invest in that. With $185,000 going to be invested in our community to celebrate events and different experiences. So I think that's one item that's extremely important to us. We'll also continue to financially support community groups with $277,000 in grants, including $10,000 annual increase to both the Seniors Independence Group, which is also at the heart of our community. And the Frost Festival, which is an event that everyone enjoys, that's been going on forever, and that we want to continue to see happening here in the city. Safety has always been paramount to us here in the city of Mount Pearl. We're going to continue to invest in that as well. So we will continue to expand upon our safety and meet the need for that. So we're going to have municipal enforcement officers to participate in safety sessions, will be held at daycares, grade schools, and more, increasing awareness that everyone has a role to play when it comes to common safety, community safety, and we'll continue the important outreach this coming year. And this is absolutely invaluable because it's important to feel safe in the community and to bring awareness. And that starts with our children, because we want to have families here. We want everyone to be here to enjoy the beautiful city, our parks, our facilities, and everyone to be able to feel safe when they're walking on our trails. So the continued investment in safety is something that's absolutely paramount. So, while this has been a challenging budget, I have to say I'm very proud of what we're investing in going forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fry, and then Councillor Rice, I believe.
Yes, I have to echo what my colleagues say. It was a very difficult budget. And when you're sitting down, you're thinking of all the things you'd like to do. The possibilities are endless, but then you realize that you only have a certain amount of money to work with. And as challenging as this has been now with inflation, everybody is feeling it. And there are still some things that we want to do, but I think we have come together with a good focus on the important things. And one thing that the city has $700 million in public infrastructure assets, and we need to continue to protect that. So a total investment of $6.5 million investment in critical infrastructure upgrades and asset management in 2023's budget is important to have. It's like if you own a vehicle, you have to do maintenance on the vehicle or else it's going to deteriorate. Mm-hmm. Same thing with all of our infrastructure. The problem is most of it is underground, so you don't see it, but it's still extremely important to invest in. So $900,000 invested in an asset management contingency fund to ensure that the city is able to sustain unexpected infrastructure expenditures as they arise. To have the money there in the event that something happens is good planning. $4.6 million in city contributions to federal and provincial funding programs. Well, the future for planning for infrastructure programs such as Invest Canada Infrastructure Program and the multi-year capital works allows the city to leverage up to 70% in funding dollars, which means our $4.6 million investment equals almost $14 million in work. And this investment is truly making taxpayers' dollars work harder for us. If the federal and provincial programs are there, we need to leverage them. And $1 million in fleet renewal, which will ensure that we can maintain service standards and public safety for important core services, such as our snow clearing of both roadways and sidewalks. And I was also really happy that we were able to invest in additional trail grooming equipment, because I know people have enjoyed that. And I'm also happy to see the investment in community enforcement and safety. And especially if we can do the eco-friendly trail lighting and make our trails safer for everybody to use. Not that they're unsafe, but if they're lit, they're even more safe. So as it has been a difficult budget, I wish it was different in terms of, having to increase the mill rate. but it is a very responsible budget and it's one that I will support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Councillor Fry, for my colleagues and all the rest of my colleagues for their input on the budget. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Colley, for bringing the budget. I certainly support the budget. But certainly I'd like to have a few comments regarding some of our planning and our investment in the growth of our city. So in 2023, the city will release a series of new strategic documents that will include a new strategic plan that will cover 2023 through to 2027, which will include a new 10-year municipal plan. The plan is already underway. And will guide responsibility and sustainable growth in the development in our city. Very important. The city still has to move forward. So this is why, the budget increase and the mill rate increase. The city will also move towards a goal of climate continuous mixed use development for Kenmount Hill. So like Councillor Locke has mentioned, the growth of our city is very, very important. And we haven't seen much very, I guess, minimal growth in our city in the past number of years. So investing in our infrastructure and the development of Kenmount Hill is very, very important for sustainable growth and income for the city. So urban amenities, leveraging natural features and values for the city. This year's budget sees considerable investment on the Farrell Drive, like I mentioned, upgrades, because when we do the development on Kenmount Hill, we need the infrastructure on the Farrell Drive too, so it can handle the rain, I guess all the rain and the storm sewer system and coming down that area. Also, this $6.6 million project for Farrell Drive area is critical to the long-term sustainability of development for the development on Kenmount Hill. The city also has a renewed focus on diversity and inclusion with the completion of a smart accessible playground at St. David's Park, which will officially be opened in 2023. I think it was very, very important for the city to invest in that park because inclusion in diversity and accessibility is really, really important on the agenda for the city of Mount Pearl. Also, a new internal group work focus on accessibility, diversity, and inclusion will broaden in the new year to welcome community representatives to be regularly consulted for policies and developments and any major projects that the city will undertake. And also, I'd just like to add, I mean, we see a lot of our tenders and a lot of our ISEP projects now, they're coming back, and a lot of companies that are doing our work are looking for increase, because we're always looking at the change order for projects. And I mean, this is a big increase of inflation, and we're seeing everybody across Canada seeing the inflation rate now right across the country. And one of the biggest things I see for contractors is their fuel costs for operating their equipment. So, I mean, to operate a piece of heavy equipment and machinery, and a lot of their equipment that they use for this type of work is not like just a regular car. I mean, it takes a lot of fuel to run this big piece of equipment. And also, I just want to add in that, since 2019, when COVID hit, I mean, a lot of our facilities has been shut down back and forth. We tried to open them back up. We got them shut back down again. So that means no revenue coming in. So the no revenue part coming in, it was a big part of the city, I guess, on our budget and our discussions in budget with our directors and our managers and council. So it's been a tough time, reacting to what we need to do and what we should do. But so, I do certainly support the budget, and and going forward, hopefully we'll have more people involved in the budget discussions. And I just want to say thank you to all of our management team, our directors, and our council. It's been a tough time, but I think we're going forward in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. And before we turn it back to the Deputy Mayor for final comment, it's it's a budget that invests in the future, and you're talking up to $14 to $15 million that can be leveraged for, all told, with an investment of $6 million towards what we call asset management, and another $1 million towards our vehicle fleet, which is integral to delivering our services. Frankly, we can't just walk away from that. And those projects are starting to cost us, including the vehicles, 20-30% more per year, but to walk away from potentially $7 or $8 million for the federal provincial money, I don't think is wise, in the long run. So I think it's a very balanced budget that's focused on people. Operating costs have been, we've looked at it and done the best we can to keep it down. It's certainly an increase of about little over 3% in operating costs. It's certainly a lot less than what you see in the current inflation rate, which is out there at around 7 to 8%. But frankly, the infrastructure projects are costing anywhere from 10 to 30% more. You saw a motion tonight about the ISIP related infrastructure projects, and I don't suspect, if we all thought it was going to go back down again, I don't think we'd necessarily have to take the action we took tonight. But frankly, we know that prices typically don't fall. So in order to move the city forward, yes, we have to take into account the current economic environment. I want to say congratulations to the deputy mayor and Councillor Locke, of course, not only on the delivery tonight. A lot of effort has been done by committee to get us where we are. Council, thank you for all the extra hours you've put in getting this done. We do meet every Tuesday, but I think where there was 1 week, we met for 3 nights out of 4 during the weekdays, and that's a lot of time spent away from your families. And as well, it shows your dedication to the work at hand this time of the year. The schedule will ease a little bit, come Christmas and come the new year. CAO Spurl, I want to congratulate you and your team. You were way out ahead of us as usual. You brought to the table a very well researched and thought out budget. I want to thank you for some of the decisions that undoubtedly I know you made beforehand to make sure the budget was realistic and practical. And I want to thank you very much for that. As well on the corporate services side and finance, Stephanie Hines, thank you very much, our manager of finance and our director of corporate services. I know you're part of a team, but when a budget comes down, this is akin to Public Works tackling Snowmageddon, say, right? So I think a little extra credit is due. And to all the other directors here, thank you for your contribution, your hard work as well. In addition to Ms. Mullins and Ms. Pratt, for their kind support throughout all that, and being patient with us as we met almost every second night to get this done. It wasn't an easy budget. A lot of hard work goes into it. I want to say congratulations to everybody involved. And I invite the deputy mayor to sum up before I call for a vote on the motions.
Thank you, Your Worship. And I think my last words are echoing the sentiment of this of my fellow colleagues. I want to just comment, because we talk about this certainly is a difficult budget. This is a challenging budget. This is a challenging year. This is an unprecedented time. We're talking about an economic reality that is affecting us worldwide. This is what we are. We are meeting ourselves the best we can, and with balance, rational thinking, and stewardship. And I strongly support this budget. But it's recognizing that when we look at a challenging time, I am absolutely grateful and thankful to have the input from all the residents that gave consultation through this, the rigor and skill that came from all staff and members of this team that put forward ideas, concepts, and innovative thinking on how to deal with the challenges of our economic reality. The thoughtfulness and stewardship of my fellow colleagues who gave attention to absolutely every line, asked questions, and had the interests of our residents in our cities first and foremost at every point and juncture of this. This is no easy endeavor, and it is certainly the challenging budgets and the challenging times seem to be, I believe, where you learn the most around resilience, innovation, and how to build a stronger tomorrow. Because the reality is this: the matters and challenges that we have today in our city, in our province, and in this world are not going away. So ensuring we are looking at that with rationale, stewardship, and an eye for what's the best interest of growth and the best health of this community is so paramount. And I believe this is a successful endeavor today and a successful practice and outcome with today's budget. So again, I want to offer my thanks and gratitude to everyone who submitted their time, attention, work into this process. Thank you.
And on that note, I'm going to call the question for the four motions presented by the Deputy Mayor and Councillor Locke. All in favor? And those opposed? Hearing none, the City of Mount Pearl's 2023 budget is approved. Thank you, everybody, and a job well done. Final message from me to our residents and our businesses and to everybody that works with the City of Mount Pearl, our management and staff, and everybody in this room too, and to our community. A very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you, and looking forward to 2023. It's not a budget that was challenging. It's we live in challenging times, and I think it reflects all of that. And I thank you all for rising up to the challenge. And on that note, I'll call for a question to adjourn. It is moved by Councillor Rice and seconded by Councillor Antle. Thank you very much.